The Big 12 Conference has certainly lived up to all the hype so far this season. It appears to be a two-team race with just 4 regular season games remaining. It may be near 90 degrees outside, but here inside the Kansas Expo Center, it's nice and cool as hockey season is officially here. The best of the best skiers from the entire state of Kansas will be here tomorrow and Sunday as they get ready for regionals. Safe to say every single one of those Kansas City Chiefs fans are loving their decision to come to this game tonight. It's playoff football right now. Check it out behind me. Holton and Frontenac. It looks like the Raiders just scored a touchdown on live television. They have taken a 6-0 lead. 900 series is the best you can get. That's if you get a 300, a 300, and a 300. He bowled a 279, a 279, and a 269. Chiefs football tomorrow. Playoff game at 3:30 against the Houston Texans. Remember, the Chiefs beat the Texans back in week 1. A man showed up at the basketball team's dorm offering the players of all things free throw advice. The most recent of which is Trent Tanking from Holton. He has dominated his senior year, leading the team in tackles. There you go. Awesome and undefeated, Brooke. It doesn't get any better than that. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we're going to hear a whole lot more. Baylor's 0-4, but that's a football team that kind of took Oklahoma to the 4th quarter, 3rd-ranked Oklahoma last week, so anything can happen. That's why you get out there and play the game. That is where we will begin this evening. It was a thriller over at Silver Lake. The undefeated Eagles hosting one loss, Sabetha. High school girls volleyball at Cair Paravel takes place in the fall, but the school is just one of a handful in the entire Midwest that have varsity boys volleyball in the spring.
Lions on 3. 1, 2, 3. Lions!
It all started earlier in the year. The lone senior on the team, Dominic Bonura, wanted to play high school boys volleyball, and he started asking his friends to join. This is the Lions' 3rd and final home game of the season, and they've came a long way. Steven Anderson gets the kill right here, one of 9 juniors on the roster. And then the next point belongs to Jesse Hybert. He comes flying in for another Cair Paravel point. The team has 14 players who had never played competitive volleyball before this season. They all gained an interest through watching the girls team play in the fall.
It's the novel thing, it's the new thing in town. They took that and ran with it.
And that's what it's all about. Cair Paravel will wrap up its boys volleyball season with the league tournament on Saturday. Topeka High football has one of the most explosive offenses in the Sunflower State, but all 8 wins from last season are now gone. That's because the Kansas State High School Activities Association ruled the Trojans had an ineligible player this past season. Jaquez Barksdale transferred from Highland Park, but he never actually moved. Keisha Executive Director Gary Musselman says Barksdale's father made a change of residence and it processed normally, but a school resource officer confirmed Jaquez wasn't living there. Misty Kruger, Topeka Public Schools spokesperson, says the district was surprised by the punishment.
When that ruling came back the entire season.
And that consists of 8 wins. The Trojans were 8-2 this past season, and they shared a Centennial League title. All of that will be forfeited. On the other side of the bracket, it's a rematch between Topeka High and Lawrence High. These two faced off to begin the year. The Lions rallied to get a win. Early on, Kai Thomas gets some great separation before stepping back and burying the jump shot. And then check out this slick pass from Thomas to Keandre Smith, cutting under the basket. The Trojans go on top early, but Lawrence would fight back. The degree of difficulty on this layup, at least for me, is way up there. Clarence King, though, makes it look really, really simple. Then it's defense turning into offense. A steal by the Lions. They get it up ahead to Anthony Selden. That's the younger brother of former KU player Wayne Selden. He banks it home. All smiles for number 4. Topeka High, though, has a similar sequence. Look at that block from Smith. And then Larry White's coming right into your living room. He Euro steps his way to a left-handed layup. The Trojans rallied from a 13-point deficit to tie it and force overtime. But Topeka High loses a heartbreaker 78-77 to Lawrence. So Topeka High and Highland Park are now on the wrong side of the bracket. For most players, senior day means the end of a journey and time to wrap up this chapter of life. But for one Emporia State softball family, they've been anticipating this day for the last 4 years. They've battled back from an accident and given a whole new meaning to senior day.
Maya and Aaron are 2 peas in a pod.
Aaron is a great pitcher.
And a great daughter, huh?
And a great daughter.
It was really powerful. I was really proud of my mom.
Senior pitcher Aaron Stockman is an 18-game winner for the ESU softball team. But 3.5 years ago, that would have been hard to imagine after her mom's life was almost taken away by a drunk driver.
She was hit head-on. 2 cars behind her was a lady who would normally not have even been on the scene. She went right to Maya's car because she was an off-duty EMT. And she said, Maya, Chin was down and she was gurgling, and she would not have made it in time for the ambulance.
Mija suffered a traumatic brain injury that limited her mobility and required constant medical attention.
I missed all her softball games for 2.5 years. I was in the hospital.
Number 14, Mija Stockman.
I definitely had to grow up a lot faster since it was my freshman year, but I mean, it's made me stronger, a better person, a better family member. It's been rough, but my mom's still here, so I'm proud of her.
After 2 long years, I graduated. I walked when they came out of Meadowbrook Rehabilitation Center to my mom's Honda Accord.
Maya's an amazing, amazing person. I don't know if I could have done it.
The goal the family set was to have Mija walk with Aaron onto the field during senior day, and slowly but surely, she did.
If she can, get in an accident and still be able to push her way and walk 30 feet, whatever, like I can do whatever.
I hugged her. Yeah. I told her I'm so very glad she was with me.
I was so full of pride. I had tears coming down my eyes. Erin had a very hard first year, but these girls are her family.
It's a small step in the right direction for a family that's already bounced back from so many obstacles.
This day has built up. It was very, very emotional. Through this all, she keeps fighting. And that's where Erin gets her fight from her mom.